So let's dive into something really fascinating about our breath. What happens when all that work you do in meditation runs smack into your old unconscious habits? And what is our smartwatch data really telling us about it all? This whole thing kicked off with a question from a meditation student. A simple question, but a really deep one. She spotted something weird in her data, something that honestly gets to the very heart of how our bodies just cling to old patterns. So here's the deal. When she was meditating, everything was great. Her breathing would just settle down nice and calm to about 5 or 6 breaths a minute. Beautiful, right? But then she'd check her smartwatch data from the night before, and it was a totally different story. While she was asleep, her breath rate was way up there, 17, sometimes even 20 breaths a minute. Talk about a disconnect.
And that's the mystery, isn't it? It feels like all that conscious effort, all that practice, just poof, gone the second you fall asleep. Is your body just not listening? Is it ignoring everything you're trying to teach it? It's super frustrating for sure. But the answer is actually incredibly useful.
Okay, so to figure out what's really going on here, we've got to look at the science. Because it turns out that super slow meditative breath, it's not just about feeling calm. It's an actual, measurable, physiological sweet spot for our bodies.
There was this incredible study back in 2001. They found that whether people were reciting Catholic rosaries or chanting yoga mantras, their breathing just naturally, on its own, slowed down to about 6 breaths a minute. Nobody told them to. And get this, that rate just so happens to be perfect for optimizing things like your blood pressure and heart rate variability. It's like ancient wisdom stumbled onto a biological cheat code centuries ago.
And modern research, the stuff you'll see in books like James Nestor's Breath, has gotten even more specific. They've pinpointed the number, 5.5. 5.5 breaths per minute. That seems to be the magic number for our overall health. And this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? The ideal rate is way down here at 5.5, but the average adult, we're breathing around 15 times a minute. And remember our student? She was hitting 18 in her sleep. We're basically living in a constant low-level state of stress, and we don't even know it. It's become our normal. So that leads to the big question, right? If this slow rate is so amazing for us, why doesn't our body just do it all the time? Why do we have to work so hard for it? Why isn't this our factory setting? Well, the answer is hiding deep inside our brain's wiring. All right, here's the key idea that unlocks everything. We don't just have one breathing system. Nope, we've got 2. And they're running at the same time, often with completely different goals in mind. Okay, let's meet system number 1. Deep down in the most ancient part of your brain, the brainstem, there's this little hub of neurons called the pre-Boatsinger complex. You can think of it as the engine room. It's the tireless little generator that creates your automatic breathing rhythm. It's the thing that keeps you breathing when you're sleeping, when you're zoned out, basically anytime you're not paying attention. And this is the big aha moment. You've got the autopilot. That's your brainstem running on years and years of habit. But you've also got the captain. That's your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that's in charge of conscious decisions. When you sit down to meditate, you're literally handing the controls over to the captain, and the captain can turn to the autopilot and say, "Hey, slow it down."
And boom, there's the answer to our student's big question. The second you fall asleep, the captain, your conscious mind, clocks out. He's off duty. The autopilot immediately takes back control. And unless you've done the deep work to retrain it, what's it going to do? It's going to go right back to its old, comfortable, and usually way too fast baseline. So does that mean all this practice is for nothing? No, absolutely not. It just means real, lasting change happens on a much slower timeline than we'd like. So let's talk about what that slow path to change really looks like. There's this beautiful idea from Tiantai Buddha's teachings that just nails it. It says that the surface is touched first, but the deep conditioning yields slowly. Think about that. Your conscious practice, it's hitting the surface level. But that deep, automatic stuff, man, that takes time. It takes patience and consistent work. So here's the nuts and bolts of it. Your conscious meditation practice is basically a training session. It's the captain patiently teaching the autopilot a new way to do things. And over time, this literally changes your body's chemistry, specifically its tolerance for CO2. See, it's that buildup of carbon dioxide that makes you feel that panicky urge to breathe. So if you can increase your tolerance, you can breathe much more slowly without your body freaking out. You're basically sending a new software update to the brainstem, installing a calmer, slower default setting.
And this is just so crucial to get. This isn't a quick fix, it's not a hack. You are literally rewiring the most ancient, most automatic parts of your nervous system. That's not going to happen overnight. But the change, it's very, very real.
So, with all that in mind, let's look at that smartwatch data again. We need to completely reframe it. It's not a report card, it's not grading you, it's a map. It's just showing you where you are on the journey. For pretty much all of human history, we couldn't see this stuff. This gap between what we want to do and what our body does automatically was totally invisible. But now, the smartwatch, it's become this accidental meditation tool, a Dharma instrument, if you will. It's not there to judge you, it's just a mirror, showing you something that used to be hidden. It makes the invisible visible.
So what is that data really saying to that student and to any of us who see the same gap? It's saying, hey, your practice is working. It's a huge success. You have successfully taught your captain how to breathe in a new, much healthier way. Getting down to 5 or 6 breaths a minute is a massive win. The sleep data doesn't cancel that out. It just points to where the next level of the work is.
And really, maybe that's the most beautiful takeaway of all. Your body, your nervous system, your breath itself, it is learning. The work you're putting in is real. It's making a difference, even when you can't see it in every single stat. It's a slow journey, one that happens mostly in the quiet, in the dark, when you're not even watching. But trust me, it is happening.